Am I the asshole for sending my younger sister money against my girlfriend's wishes? My younger sister, F25, is working towards getting her master's degree in New York. While she loves the city and school, she hates how expensive everything has become. She does work part-time, but it simply isn't enough. My parents, M77, and F73, have been sending her money each month, but since they recently retired, they've had to cut back. To fill the gap, my brother, M28, and I, M32, have begun sending some money to our sister from time to time to help with her rent. I have a well-paying job and a close relationship with my sister, so I'm happy to help where I can. However, my girlfriend, F30, has expressed her dissatisfaction with the arrangement. We've been saving up to put a down payment on a house in the future, and my girlfriend believes that my financial contributions to my sister is hindering our progress. Yesterday, which happened to be the day I usually send my sister money, girlfriend told me that we needed to reduce expenses, and one suggestion she made was for me to no longer send money to my sister. She believes that my sister needs to learn how to manage her money better and that my brother, M28, should contribute more. I told her about how I feel a responsibility towards my sister and how my brother doesn't make as much as I do, and while she did acknowledge that, she then said I was financially naive, and said she doesn't want me to be taken advantage of. I was kinda disappointed hearing this, as I made the conscientious decision to help my sister and wasn't falling for some sort of scam. The conversation ended because we both had to go to work, but she told me not to send anything until we further discussed this. During my lunch break at work, I proceeded to send my sister some money and told girlfriend about this over dinner. She told me that she was disappointed. At this point, I was getting a little annoyed and responded by saying I was not willing to comprise my current arrangement with my sister. Girlfriend got upset with this and left the table. Am I the asshole? Edit 1. I make about 15.5k per month and have been putting away 4-6k each month towards a future house. Girlfriend makes about 7k per month, currently saves around 1k per month for the house. She said she'll contribute more once her student loans are paid off. I pay for rent and utilities, girlfriend pays for bulk of groceries. I started sending my sister $1,500 per month since my parents retired. Edit 2. Sis pays $2,800 per month in rent and $350 per month in transportation. I contribute $1,500 per month. Brother pays $750 per month. Parents pay $500 per month. Our mother was terrified of sis living in NYC on her own and only agreed if she lived in a nicer area and had a car. Edit 3. Update: my girlfriend and I had a long talk after work. It didn't go well. To summarize, tensions escalated during the conversation. I told her that I planned to continue helping my sister until she completes her degree, and afterward, she would either start working or move back to our parents' home until she finds a job. However, my girlfriend expressed her belief that my sister, and whole family, is manipulating me and thinks I'm naive enough to send her money regardless of how she uses it. I started to feel increasingly annoyed and defensive by her accusations and asserted that it's my money, and I have the right to spend it as I see fit. I then, stupidly, said that if she really wanted us to buy a house, she should save more and cut back on expenses like nice shoes, clothes, and purses. At this point, she became properly angry and declared that she couldn't stay in the same house as me, and said that she would be going to her friend's house. Before leaving, she said, "Call me when you stop thinking like a fucking idiot." Before I could even think, I replied, "I won't be calling." I feel that I may have irreparably damaged our relationship. You make almost $200k a year and your girlfriend is worried you sending $18k a year is going to hinder your ability to buy a house. WTF and not the asshole. Do you want to buy a house with a person with a big lack of family values? I'd really think this over. As I gather, your parents helped you and your brother during your studies. Now they are retired, they can't do for your younger sister what they did for you and your brother. I think it's great both you and your brother are stepping up for your sister, and therefore as well for your parents. Not the asshole. Living in NYC, I just laugh at this. Hundreds of thousands of people live here, go to school, work and rent, all without family support. I don't think you're an asshole for sending money, but your sister is clearly lazy because of all the support she gets. She's 25, she needs to grow up. Not the asshole. And also, if I were your girlfriend, I would not say anything because you are also literally paying for her. I would be wary of someone who demands me to stop supporting my sister when I am also literally paying for most of their expenses. How much are you giving your sister? Am I the asshole for kicking my mom and sister out of my apartment for showing up unannounced? For context, I, 25M, never had a good relationship with my family. They believe that we are this near-perfect unit and I was this quiet person who was a good kid. Truth is I have very bad depression and anxiety. I always felt restricted by my parents, especially my father. Let's call him Alex, 50M. He is very controlling and manipulative. Now time for what happened. I met my now fiancée Mary, 24F, on a social media app and we were long distance. It was a fairy tale story. Soon enough we had a choice to make. Either we move in together to my state or hers. I was thinking of going to her state but my father was heavily against it and told me that I would be miserable because I would have no family or anything over there. To which made me say, so how Mary would feel coming here? He only laughed and said it was different, and good luck convincing my mother Sally, 48F. Well, I had this big fight with Sally and she claimed she had no idea Mary and I planned on moving, even though I talked to her a few times prior without any issue. Mary decided she would move in with me at my parents' house temporarily to ease my parents' nerves. It only took a couple weeks of isolating, bullying, and harassing Mary, to fully push her over the edge. We ended up finding our own place not too far from both of our jobs and without my family knowing. I started to ignore my family's phone calls due to their spam calling, and bad-mouthing Mary saying that she was the mastermind as to why I started ignoring them, taking no responsibility for their nasty words, comments, rumors and distasteful behavior, when in fact Mary was the one telling me to give them a chance. My sister Alina, 19F, who only came over when she needed something, supported my parents. Alina had a friend who just so happened to live in the same complex as us and was giving my parents updates on a daily basis on what I was doing, if I was home, or even if I had people over. It was going well for a few weeks until my mother and sister arrived at my apartment unannounced. Mary was at work and I had the day off. I heard loud banging at the door. I looked outside and saw my father's car. I immediately called Mary and said I think my family is here kicking the door. Mary told me she was calling the cops because my father and I have a history of altercations. As I was on the phone my sister screamed to open the door and proceeded to kick it more. I told Mary the first would handle it and got off the phone. It was my mother and sister trying to talk to me. My mother said she did nothing wrong and my sister told me to grow some man parts and listen. I got louder and told them to leave. My sister began to say all sorts of things about me, Mary, you name it, and I of course said some not so nice things. Told them to never bother me again. Ever since then my family and relatives have called me an a-hole for doing that and that I should apologize. I'm sorry for ranting, I just needed to get this off my chest. So am I the asshole? Info. Is it a gated, secure complex? Not the asshole. Nothing about their behavior is acceptable. It is worth recognizing that they may have genuinely good intentions, but their approach is all off. You gave your state and family a chance. It didn't work. Time to put distance between you and them. Move to Mary's state. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and please go draw on the good advice and support at R.J. Mill. Your mother will fit right in there. Not the asshole. They came over to your home, unannounced and uninvited, to verbally abuse you. Now they want you to apologize for defending yourself. You are the one owed an apology. Am I the asshole? Cancelled couch order after daughter snubbed me on Mother's Day. My daughter, 20, just bought her first home with her boyfriend and is very eager to make it perfect and completely renovate as quickly as possible. She wanted to redo her kitchen cabinets, so I offered to help her paint them. My husband and I have also gifted her two 55-inch TVs. On top of those things, last Friday, while I was at her house painting her cabinets, new appliances were delivered for which she did not pay to have hooked up. I didn't want her to be without appliances any longer, so I went ahead and paid $150 for the guys to install the gas stove as well as the dishwasher. That same day, I took her to a furniture store and placed an order for a $1,000 couch, which was supposed to be delivered tomorrow. While we were furniture shopping, she asked me what I was doing for Mother's Day. I have two very young children, 4 years and 8 months. And am now married. I was very young when I had her and was never married to her father. I told her, nothing, and that was the end of the conversation. As a side note, that's exactly what we did, no elaborate plan or anything. I stayed home with my little ones and my husband, we ordered takeout and had it delivered and enjoyed the day together as a family. On Mother's Day, I didn't get a "Happy Mother's Day" text until 11:25 a.m. In that text she said she had a little something for me, and would drop it off later. About 2 hours later she texted me and said, "We'll be there in 15 minutes." When she arrived, she told me that her boyfriend had recently cleaned out the car and apparently took the gift out of the car and she didn't realize until they pulled into the driveway. She also mentioned that they were just on their way home from picking up a friend from the airport. So, the friend, and her boyfriend were waiting in the car. My house is between the airport and her house, so it is clear that I was just a stop along the way. Anyway, while she was there, she used the bathroom, chit-chatted for less than 5 minutes and left. I'm frustrated, sad, and very much hurt for a couple of reasons. I don't feel I needed to have a plan in place for my daughter to feel like she should spend Mother's Day with her mother. I don't believe that she did have a gift. The car was just purchased, brand new, 4 days prior, so I'm not sure what exactly in it needed to be cleaned. Despite not having a gift, I'm let down by the fact that she couldn't have stayed for lunch or planned on coming back for dinner. I'm extremely taken aback by the fact that my husband and I have gifted her and her boyfriend those TVs, painted their kitchen cabinets, paid for their appliance installation, and ended up spending $1,250 after tax and delivery for a couch. After explaining all of this to her, all she is defensive and blames me for telling her that we weren't doing anything. Completely ignores all my other disappointments. Well, I went ahead and cancelled the couch order and will get my $1,250 back. Am I the asshole? You are the asshole. You are taking back a gift on the basis that she didn't read your mind. I can't believe that you have a 20-year but haven't matured yet. Info. Where in hell can a 20-year-old buy a home and a new car in the same month? Also, so your husband, who is father to 2/3 of your children, did nothing on Mother's Day? Didn't have the children make you a little gift? Did you invite her to your home for a meal on Mother's Day? Did you ask if her friends were staying with them? You are the asshole. A gift with strings isn't a gift, it's a manipulation tactic. You gave no indication of wanting to do anything and then were surprised to not do anything. Also, 11 isn't even that late. Info. What did your husband plan for you for Mother's Day, since you have 2 kids with him as well? It feels like there's some information missing here. You have a second family with young children. What does your daughter feel about this whole situation? Do you think she feels second class and that's why she'd never expect you'd want to spend your Mother's Day with her instead of your husband and 2 young children? How's her relationship with your second family? Am I the asshole for wanting my ex-husband to give me 50% of what the house sells for? My ex-husband and I, both active duty military, divorced after 5 years. I was 25 at the time and he was 28. A new female gets placed in his squad and I started noticing things were a little off. I came home during lunch and they were eating lunch in our kitchen alone. Odd, because he is an NCO and she is a private, but I believed his excuse. He would drive to her barracks every day to pick her up and drop her off for work. My phone got removed from the Bluetooth list in his truck and was replaced with hers as the primary phone. I deleted hers and added mine. That happened 2 more times. The 18–19-year-old female got married to some guy in their unit. Due to that, they both needed to move out of the barracks. One day I was at home alone, her and her husband arrive and they start moving boxes upstairs. I didn't think anything of it since we were deploying soon and thought they were using our spare bedrooms for storage. She then says, "Thank you for letting us live with you guys." At this point I am confused. My husband did not mention this. I call him and he explains how he thought he spoke with me about it. He did not. Then my mother and sister-in-law come over to visit and never left. So at this point 4 people have moved into our house without my knowledge. I started feeling that distant feeling grow stronger. I spoke with my husband about it, we start arguing over it. We have no privacy before this upcoming deployment where we would not be together. We come back from 9 days of leave and things are super weird, but yet all 6 of us are in the living room hanging out like normal. Apparently she got drunk and confessed to her husband about the affair. Her husband told mine he had until tomorrow to tell me. I found out the next day that the whole 9 days they were fucking and planned to continue it in secret during the deployment. I deploy by myself and did a lot of reflecting. I told him I wanted a divorce. I let him keep everything and I moved to a new state with only my clothes. During the split, I still paid for the electric bill and my half of the mortgage for over a year that I was not living there and we were not together. I told him to refinance and remove me from the mortgage, but he refused since my credit was better. He started missing payments and tanked my credit. It's been a year now since we've divorced. He's now selling the house and wants me to sign the broker papers and informs me I will only get $10K, which is 9% of the profit. I told him I will not sign unless he agrees to split the cost of repairs and split the profit. He tells me I am taking advantage of the situation. I only see dollar signs. I haven't lived there for a year and that I'm the one that left him. Initially, I was okay with the $10K. I felt bad for him because I know the divorce hurt him, as it hurt me. Talking to my close friends and parents, they convinced me to go for 50-50s. So am I the asshole for wanting to split the profit from him selling the house? Lawyer up. Preferably a lawyer familiar with the UCMJ and military divorces. I'm pretty sure he violated multiple parts of the UCMJ. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You need to talk to a divorce attorney. Depends on your state, but at a minimum you own the share of the property that you paid for. In a community law state, you own half, regardless. There may be other rules for military. Girl, how do you let him take advantage of you twice? Screw him over. Get your coins. Not the asshole. He screwed you over financially by ruining your credit because he refused to refinance and then wants most of the money from the house. Go for 50-50 at minimum. Not the asshole. Get a lawyer and get your half. This man lied, cheated, manipulated you, and ruined your credit. It's about time for his comeuppance.